Hello, my dear students. Myself, Mr. Mangesh Bale. I am working as an assistant professor at Gokhale Education Society's Arts, Commerce, and Science College, Zawar. In the today's lecture, I am going to start the sampling of solids. Sampling of the solids. In the previous lecture, we have seen sampling of the gaseous samples we are going to see in previous lecture. Okay, so in this sampling of solid is more actually tedious and difficult than sampling of gases and liquids. This is because of the heterogeneity, or you can say the mixing of the all particles of the sample material will not accurate, because in the sampling material there will be some lumps particles, some very fine particles, some are the medium particle. So this is because of the heterogeneity in which these solids are obtained. Solids exist either in compact form or particulate form. The sampling technique adopted to obtain a true representative of the bulk will be depend mainly on the form of, or you can say form in which the solid exists. The main difficulty in obtaining a true representative sample for solids is its heterogeneity. In its particulate form, the conversion of gross sample suitable for analysis in laboratory requires reduction of particle size along with reduction of mass. The size of the gross sample depends upon three factors. Okay, the first factor, the heterogeneity of the bulk material. Second factor, the particle size of the bulk material. And the third one, the degree of accuracy of the result. Okay, so in case of solids such as ores, the material consists of different size lumps of ore and impurities such as silicate. Okay, in the lumps of the ore, some impurity also present, that is the silicate. If a sample is to be taken and it is consists lumps of impurity only one or lumps of ore only, then there will be error occurs in the sampling. Okay, when we analyzing such same, the results obtained will far away from accuracy. That means when we do the analysis by using this particular method, okay, at that time we are getting inaccurate results, or you can say there will be no proper accuracy of that results. This difficulty may be avoided by crushing the lumps to smaller size. That means bigger size lumps that we are going to crush, and it will convert into the fine particles. Okay, now we will see the example of this sampling of solids. Okay, example, suppose consider that given sample contains 1% impurities and that impurity present in the form of lumps. Okay, suppose we have taken a sample material. In that sample material where we can say 1% impurity is there. Okay, in that case, suppose we are weighing 1 gram sample, 1 gram ore we have weigh. In that case, sample consists of some lumps particles and some fine particles. Okay, that means very fine particle or very small size particle, we can say fine particle, and lumps means bigger size particle, or we can say lumps of the sample material. The lump is impurity and fine particle only pure ore, or we can say sample. That means that bigger size particle, we can say it is the impurity, and small fine particle, we can say it's a pure ore, or we can say our pure sample. If a sample weighing 1 gram is taken and the sample was a lump of impurity, the analyst reported 100% impurity. That means when we are weighing the sample 1 gram, at that time only lumps will be there into the sample material. Then the analyst, okay, reported it's 100% impure. We can say only the impurity is there. Okay. On the other hand, if the same sample, that means above same sample, 1 gram, okay, that consists of fine particle, that means very small particles are there, he or she will be reported 100% purity. Okay, that means when we are weighing the 1 gram sample material, at that time the sample consists of a only small fine particles, then the analyst or chemist will be say it's 100% pure sample, or the 100% purity of that sample material. Or either case, he or she will be reported sampling is not proper. That means whatever procedure we have used to weighing that sample material, that will be wrong. Okay, that will be he or she reported. Okay, suppose now we will see the sampling error due to heterogeneous nature and size of sample can be controlled by crushing the lumps material in the fine particles. That means to avoid this pure and impure form of the sample material, what we are going to do, we are going to crush that lumps into the fine particles. Okay, this error also can be minimized by taking larger quantity of the bulk material, or how much quantity of sample should be taken to be determined by the bulk ratio of the sample material. That means to avoid this error, what we are going to do, we can take a larger quantity of the bulk material. That means whatever sample we are going to, or whatever ore we are going to analyze, that ore we can take in very large quantity. Okay, then we will crush that material, convert into that lumps material into the fine particle, then we are going to weigh, and then we are going to analyze, or by using particular method. Okay, the bulk ratio of the sample material can be defined as, bulk ratio is the ratio of weight of the sample to the total weight of the bulk material. Okay, that means by the definition, bulk ratio is equal to weight of the sample upon total weight of the bulk material. This is the equation number 1. Okay, now for heterogeneous material, another parameter is defined to minimize the errors from sampling. This factor is will be what? Size to weight ratio. Size to weight ratio. This size to weight ratio is used to determine the size of increments and number of increments to be taken to prepare gross sample. Okay, in very first lecture I told about what is the increment, what is the gross sample, what is the subsample, and so on. Okay, hope you understood the definition of the size to weight ratio. Size to weight ratio, it is denoted by small b. Okay, or it is the ratio of weight of the largest particle to the weight of the sample particle. Okay, this is the definition. The formula of it, size to weight ratio is equal to weight of the largest particle upon total weight of the sample material. Okay. Size to weight ratio generally expressed in percentage. Okay. That means we have to multiply the above this formula size to weight ratio into the 100. Okay. Then above formula becomes size to weight ratio in bracket small b, okay, is equal to weight of largest particle upon weight of the sample particle into the 100. This is the equation number 2. Okay. Now if impurities present at particle of the largest size to cubic shape, then the standard deviation s of the percentage impurity due to the sampling is given by s is equal to b into p raised to 1 half. This is equation number 3. So what they told us, if the impurity is present as particles of the largest size, very largest size, okay, to cubic shape, then the standard deviation s, the standard deviation term we have learned in SY basic class. Okay, hope you understood that standard deviation of the percentage impurity due to the sampling. They have given formula for that. They have directly given this formula, s is equal to p into p raised to 1 half. This is the equation number 3rd, where in this case this s denoted will be what, standard deviation. Small p is the percentage impurity, okay, and b is the size to weight ratio, just we have seen in previous equation. Okay. So in this case the equation 3, that means above equation, this equation standard deviation equation is used to calculate the size to weight ratio when value of p is known and value of standard deviation is fixed. Okay, that means by using above this standard deviation equation we are going to calculate size to weight ratio, but when the value of p is known and standard deviation will be fixed. That means yes, value also the fixed and value of the p is known, then we can determine this small b, or we can say size to weight ratio of the sample material. The knowing value of b, that means size to weight ratio value, when we know, it is possible to find out size of the same sample by equation 2. That means when the value of b, that means size to weight ratio value will be known, at that time we can find out find out the size of the sample by the equation number 2. This is the equation number 2. When value of b is known, at that time we can find out the size of the sample material by using the previous equation, that means equation number 2. Okay, so in the next lecture we are going to start sampling of the liquid. Okay, thank you.